Good morning, good morning, good morning. What a fantastic morning it is. Why? Because this is day 94 of the Free to Hope 12 Steps Applied to COVID-19. My name is Edwina B, and I am a grateful recovering alcoholic of 31 years, also a survivor of COVID-19 for 94 days with 7 family members. By the grace of God, we were spared the fatalities and the severity of the symptoms from COVID-19. And for that, we are truly, truly humbled and grateful that we can breathe, we can smell, we can taste, we can feel, we can hear. But the main point is to listen to how these 12 steps that were created and developed by the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous over 80 plus years ago, and how I have been practicing these 12 spiritual principles for 31 years as of February the 23rd of 2021. However, I did not practice these principles back in November and December of 2020, which is why I contributed to contracting COVID-19 and infecting members of my family as young as 2 years old to 78 years old. But it was only through the grace of God that we are survived and in the restoration mode of COVID-19. So we recognize that the creator, whoever you choose to call him, I call him God, the force, the universe, breathe life into your vessel this morning, breathe life into my vessel this morning, woke you up this morning and woke me up this morning to share in this beautiful, happy new day. We know it's a new year, a new month, but the 12 steps teach us that every day is a holiday and every day can be a happy day if we utilize the 12 spiritual principles, specifically with this COVID-19 pandemic, its effects, its outcome, its fatalities, right? And when we practice the CDC suggestions of wearing a mask, washing our hands, social distancing, contact tracing, getting tested, and getting vaccinated, we must stop the perpetuation of this devastating pandemic that only our Creator knows the beginning, the middle, and the end. But he also reminds us that this is not the first, nor will it be the last pandemic that we go through as a human race. And nothing has hit us so hard simultaneously than this COVID-19 and these variants. So the 12 steps, which are spiritual in nature, can help us, prepare us, and help save us from its devastating impact, effects, outcomes, and fatalities. So, because our Creator is the one who decides, we want to give him homage. We want to acknowledge him. We want to pay homage to him just to say thank you. No matter what the physical conditions are, if we learn the 12 steps, we can address any and all from a spiritual angle. We also want to give homage to those who have lost their lives to COVID-19, the ones who have been left behind as a result of losing their loved ones from COVID-19, those who are on their dying bed this very second, not knowing that they're going to live or die from COVID-19, those who are suffering severity of the symptoms from COVID-19, those who have been recovering from COVID-19. Those of us who are in the intervention mode of helping those with COVID-19, putting their lives and their family lives in jeopardy, just to help those who will be defiant, stubborn, selfish, self-centered, egotistical, prideful, have that feeling of being invincible. Yes, they are included among us. So the question is, are you in the prevention, intervention, or restoration mode of COVID-19? Are you being proactive, reactive, inactive, or responsible regarding COVID-19? But we want to give 30 seconds of silence in honor of our higher power, who I choose to call God, and the entire human race, as we simultaneously go through this knee-bowing experience all around the globe in support of being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem. Join me for just 30 seconds in a moment of silence. Thank you, thank you, thank you. While I was in silence, I had a recall of the news I saw this morning on CNN. And they said in Brazil alone, just in one day, 80,000 people contracted COVID-19. 80,000 in just one day. I also saw on CNN News how certain states, certain cities are celebrating. Take off the mask, burn the mask, and also including their children to participate. My heart is heavy. Yes, it is. And which is why I know that I've been prepared by my God to share with you for just those who are willing to listen, just to listen, in order to save your life, my life, the life of our loved ones, and the lives of others. But my heart is heavy looking at how for the the beauty of image, for wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard. In our 12-step program, they say you cannot save your butt and your face at the same time. Either you're going to save one or the other. But we say in the program, if we don't save our behinds, we're not going to have a face anyway. And so I implore you, those who are listening, please, 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 talk to those who have lost loved ones to COVID-19. Talk with those who are suffering right now from COVID-19. Talk to the children who have lost their parents. Talk to the parents who have lost their children. Talk to the daughters and sons who have lost their mothers and fathers and siblings. Talk to them. Maybe they can touch you so that you can be restored to sanity, so that you can obtain that spiritual experience, which will bring about a spiritual awakening, which will increase your spiritual maturity to have you obtain that psychic change in order to stop the perpetuation of this COVID-19. But there are just some among us, as we say in the 12-step program, who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves, having that feeling of being invincible, that it's a hoax, it won't happen to them. And I don't know what it is about our humanness that makes us so rebellious, so defiant, so resistant, right? Just to take some simple suggestions that are designed to save your life, to save the lives of your loved ones, to save the lives of your fellow human beings. So what is it? What is it about us as humans? Well, the answers are in the 12 spiritual principles adopted by Alcoholics Anonymous over 80 years ago. My heart is heavy. My heart is heavy. When I saw people celebrating burning the mask and having their children, and not just one city, one state, but it's having a ripple effect, just like this COVID-19. And we are letting our guards down. And we understand in the 12-step program why. Because there is something about our human nature that we just focus on the human aspect of our existence. But we are twofold. We are human beings. We are spiritual, encased in this vessel and walking this human journey. But we are spirits, huh? And so when we practice the CDC suggestions, when we practice the 12 steps that are spiritual in nature, that our attitudes, our ideas, our behaviors, our actions, our choices will be from a spiritual nature to combat any and all physical conditions, including COVID-19. My heart is heavy. And there's nothing I can do about it but do my part. I do my part by leading by example. I do my part by implementing and practicing these 12 spiritual principles, which I didn't do back in November and December. So I am no longer a smart person who learned from my experience. I'm a wise person because I'm learning from the experiences of others regarding this COVID-19. My heart is heavy. Oh, my heart is heavy because there's going to be so much grief, so many suicides, so many people picking up drugs, alcohol for the first time, so much increase in domestic violence, child abuse. Yes, the adversary is busy. Why? Because of our inability to be true to thyself, our inability to take a look at ourselves as to not say what's wrong with you or what's wrong with me, because coming from a 12-step program, I'd be like, okay, I understand because I was there. I took it for granted. Yes, I didn't want to put on my mask consistently. I didn't want to wash my hands all the time. I never did anyway, right? I don't want to have to be told who I can see and who I can be around. So I had that feeling of being defiant, rebellious, right? Egotistical, right? I had that feeling of being invincible. But guess what? COVID-19 knocked on my door and I opened it. I opened it by not practicing the simple suggestions that are offered. But it was through my God and the principles of the 12-step program that my creator said, guess what, Edwina? I delivered you from alcohol, drugs, prostitution over 31 years ago, and I'm delivering you from COVID-19 so that you can go out and share how important it is to take the simple suggestions to save your life, the lives of your loved ones, the lives of your culture, the lives of your community, your city, your state, your country. Huh? We know that we won't touch everybody, but we can use the serenity prayer that was adopted by the 12-step program. By the 12-step program, the serenity prayer that is often used in the 12-step program. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Huh? That's why when we share with you these 12 spiritual principles that Dr. Scott T. Allison focused on his article in Psychology Today in the March 31st, 2020 edition, and Jason Waller's breakdown of the 12 steps, the narratives, and the questions, adding his own personal experience, strength, hope, and wisdom. And now I am adding my experience, my strength, my hope, my wisdom, but also my lack of wisdom. Also my bad decisions and my bad choices that helped me to contract COVID-19. But there's another version of the Serenity Prayer where we address it to individuals. And it says, God, grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change, the courage to change the person that I can, and the wisdom to know that that person is me. My heart is heavy. My heart is heavy, particularly for the innocent ones, the ones who have no choice, the ones who have no decisions, like the children, like the seniors, like the mentally ill, those who are suffering from substance abuse. What are they? They are at the mercy of their elders or their guardians or their parents, right? And it's them who are making those bad decisions, those bad choices. My heart is heavy, but I can only do what I can do. And so I'm going to continue to advocate for you sharing your experience, your strength, your hope, and your wisdom. Also, allow me to share my experience, my strength, my hope, and my wisdom to at least save one more life, one more family, one more culture, one more community, one more city, one more state, one more country. 80,000 in one day. And that's reported. That's reported. But there is hope in the midst of these tears, in the midst of this heavy heart that I have based on the actions of people. And I do understand. But understanding and not accepting responsibility is two different things. And so I want to be responsible. I want to be responsible and sharing with you how if you listen, if you embrace these 12 spiritual principles, we can, we will, we must stop the perpetuation of this COVID-19 and these variants, right? And so that means we need to address our old and existing attitudes, ideas, and behaviors because there's nothing wrong with us. We need to find out what happened to us to make us so defiant, to make us so rebellious, to resist change, to want to be on image time. All the masks that we have been wearing all our lives. For what? When we don't even want to wear the mask that's designed to save our life. There is something wrong with that picture, but we need to find out what happened for us to develop those attitudes, ideas, and behaviors, when and how they were formulated in order to apply these 12 spiritual principles. To have that spiritual experience will bring about a spiritual awakening, will increase our spiritual maturity, and obtain that psychic change to say, if they're not going to lead by example, I will. My heart is heavy. My heart is heavy. But I have hope. I have faith. Why? Because I practice these 12 spiritual principles in all my affairs, even with COVID-19 now. And because God delivered me and 7 of my family members, it is my honor, my obligation, and my duty to share with you, to implore you to please look at the bigger picture and not just look at your picture in the mirror. Look at your loved ones. Look at your community. Look at your culture. Do you want to be blamed for the demise of your family, your culture, your city, your country? No. You want to uplift them, but we have to lead by example. In a 12-step program, it says attraction rather than promotion. Yes. Yes. So even though my heart is heavy, I have hope. Why? Because you feel me, don't you? You feel me, don't you? You feel me, don't you? Because if you talk to anybody who've lost a loved one, who suffered from it, oh yes, they can tell you their testimony. They can tell you their story. They can tell you that they had the if I woulda, coulda, shouldas. But you don't have to meet that same fate, because you can embrace these 12 spiritual principles to obtain that psychic change, be restored to sanity. That only means soundness of mind. If you value life, if you value breathing, if you value living, come on now, take those other masks off and put on the mask that's going to help save your life and save the lives of others. Yes, you can hear me. You can hear me. I'm not worried about this makeup that presents my culture, my royalty. You can hear me. My heart is heavy. Oh God, it is. It's heavy. But I'm going to continue to do my part. And if just one life is saved, then I did my part. And members of my family, my grandchildren, are following me as their leader, as their role model, as their protector, because I have been restored to soundness of mind. And I hope you are too. Woo! Okay. Can I have a drink? A coffee. Okay. Let me drink some coffee. I don't know why I'm so emotional. Being able to breathe. I have a tissue here. Being able to breathe. Being able to swallow. Being able to smell. Being able to taste, And what a difference, because let me show you what COVID-19 looked like on me, all right? Since you're from Missouri, right? And, to God be the glory. So here's me back in November and December, that picture where I look very sickly. I didn't have these pearly white dentures in, right? I was sweaty. My body ached like a toothache. Right? I could hardly breathe. I could hardly taste. My smell was affected. But guess what? On December the 3rd, hit that go live picture, and you have been with me for 94 days through this journey of recovery. Yes, you have. And, but I don't look like what I've been through, but that's why I show those pictures. But if you go back to April the 1st of 2020, after I read that article by Dr. Scott T. Allison, and how he wrote in Psychology Today how we as a human race can benefit from the wisdom of 12-step programs. And he applied 7 points from the Al-Anon perspective that use the same 12 spiritual principles. Same thing with Alcoholics Anonymous, Gamblers Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous. What about COVID-19 Anonymous? My heart is heavy. COVID-19 Anonymous. We can be free of COVID-19 and help the next person be free from COVID-19 too. Just like we do in those other fellowships, if we just apply these 12 spiritual principles, practice them in all our affairs, dealing with this physical condition from a spiritual angle, we can, we will, we must stop this perpetuation. Our lives depends on it. But I thank God that he is in control. That with this knee bowing experience, some of us must die, More are going to die in order for some of us to live. So are you going to be one of the ones that meet the fatality from COVID-19, or will you live? Will you be one of the survivors? Will you be one of the ones who can help save another person's life? That depends on where you are spiritually. And these 12 steps can help you with that. So, let me calm down. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. All right, so I showed you the picture. Go back to my archives on April the 1st of 2020 to see my introduction to and about the 12 steps being applied to this COVID-19 pandemic. Or you can go to December the 3rd of 2020 when I shared my first 14-day quarantine with you as I looked, as I was. I am transparent. I am going to tell you the truth. The truth. Yes. To the best of my ability. Yes. Because if it can save one more life, then it is worth it. All right. So let's get to the information. I first want to share with you my sponsors. Okay. And so my sponsors are, oh, Lord, I don't know, y'all. I just get kind of what. Let's see. My sponsors are MDB Associates, Dr. Mary Douglas Bailey. She's going to be helpful for those who are in trouble with mental illness, substance abuse, isolation, and all of that. She is Dr. Mary Douglas Bailey, MDB Associates. We're going to need all the help we can get from people like Dr. Mary Douglas Bailey. Also, people like Ebony Marjorie at Patchwork Human Services, helping put the pieces back together. We're going to need Ebony Marjorie, Patchwork Human Services. We're also going to need Levante and Dorsey and Associates. She works with children. She works with youth. All those parents who are subjecting their children to destroying the mask and not taking it seriously. Agencies like Levante and Dorsey and Associates, she should be booked. Academy of Peace by Dr. J. Macklin. There's so much going on in the world today, and I don't know why I'm so emotional, y'all, but I'm just letting it flow. I can't help it. But Academy of Peace with Dr. J. Macklin, she's the one who is my spiritual mentor and said, Edwina, God gave you this assignment, not just for 30 days, but for every day that you breathe, every day that he wakes you up. He wants to use you. Because you know God uses shattered, wounded, and broken people like you and me to rescue shattered, wounded, and broken people like you and like me. So my hat goes off to Dr. J. Macklin, the Academy of Peace. Now, Crafty Crab Seafood Restaurant, guess what, y'all? I had my 31-year anniversary celebration at Crafty Crab. And listen, the food is awesome. The atmosphere is awesome. But you know what's more awesome? They practice the CDC suggestion, social distancing. They got the hand sanitizers, right? They got it spread out, right? They clean up, they spray, they do everything that's needed, and they instruct all its members and patrons to wear a mask all the way through unless they are drinking or eating. Crafty Crab Seafood Restaurant. And my sponsor, Free to Hope. That Free to Hope sponsor is me, right? Because these 12 spiritual principles that I've been practicing for 31 years, God gave me the acronym for FREE. From recovery, emerge, empowered. From recovery, emerge, empowered. I had that acronym years ago with my dear friend Reggie Dillard, right? Working for the city of Wilmington. We was trying to come up with this acronym for free because I have been set free. And so many of us have been set free from addiction, alcoholism, the whole lifestyle. And years later, I was in an AA meeting up in Glenside, Pennsylvania, and a doctor was sitting to me, and I was figuring out, how should I word this? How should I put this? And I asked for help. I asked for help, just like I did underneath that park car 31 years ago. I asked for help. And the doctor, who's an alcoholic, whether he was a doctor or not, didn't matter to me. He was in an AA meeting like I was. But between him and I, we came up through the spirit with free. From recovery, emerge, empowered. From recovery, emerge, empowered. You understand? From recovery, we are all sick to some extent. All human beings are ill in one way, shape, form, or fashion. In one shape, form, or fashion, we are all sick. But we can get better. We're not bad people, really. We're not. We just do bad things, make bad decisions, make bad choices, but we need to find out why we do those things, and do we have the desire to change? And so free from recovery, emerge, empowered, and then free to do what? To give others hope. That's a part of the 12-step program, right? Give people hope. And so when I was working at Safe Space of Delaware, this homeless shelter here in Wilmington, Delaware, before they shut down, and the homeless with mental illness and substance abuse had to scramble to find someplace else to go. But it was my honor, my duty, my responsibility to give them hope in spite of their situation. And I played this game with them to help identify the acronym for hope. And whoever got the words of encouragement by identifying each letter that goes with hope, they will get prizes, right? And as at the end, it was revealed that hope means help others prosper equally. Help others prosper equally. This disease of alcoholism and drug addiction does not discriminate, and nor do COVID-19. So we are free to hope, from recovery, emerge, empowered to give hope to others, help others prosper equally. We are put on this earth to serve, not to be self-serving, but to be of service to others. And so that's how I got that acronym, free to hope. All right, so let me go on to my other sponsors. Listen, I'm just yielding, y'all. So whatever comes, that's what is intended to come. My other sponsors are Women Do Haul Transportation Services. That's me too, right? Now we know we have U-Haul and all these other transportation services. Well, the Spirit gave me, the Women Do Haul Transportation Services, because people with mental illness, substance abuse, right, co-occurring disorders, those who are ex-offenders, women who are coming from violent homes, children who have been abused, and women are trying to find a way. But guess what? We created Women Do Haul Transportation Services. So I'm in the process of developing a fleet. So between my son and I, we have a box truck, right? We have a van, we have a pickup truck, we have a mini school bus, we have a SUV, right? and we have some 4 cylinders. So women do haul transportation services, huh? Because people are going to be needing rides to the hospital, rides to the counselor. People are going to need help with cleaning out their apartment. Those who have lost their belongings, those who have been put out because of this COVID-19 and its devastating impact. So women do haul transportation services. I want you to support my sponsors, okay? Now, let's go to Mr. C's Barbershop. Now, many of you have commented me on my crown. I call it my crown, right? I used to, when you go back to my episodes back in April, last year, I always come on with a wig, right? And that wig symbolizes the mask, right? And so when the spirit hits me as I am talking about the 12 steps that's designed to take off all these masks, I snatch off that wig, I pull these dentures out, and I let you see the real me. Yes, I do, and I can do it now and have done it. We'll continue to do it because transparency is my motto. Transparency is the only way. It's the only way we can be set free. We have to be totally transparent. My girl, Valerie Todd, I have to mention her right now. She was an incarcerated female in Muncie, Pennsylvania. And as she reviews my podcast and we talk and we do motivational speaking together and whatnot, she sent me this song saying, truth be told. Oh, I love it. Truth be told, because we as human beings, for some reason, are afraid, embarrassed to tell the truth. But we know, Valerie, we know that in this thing called recovery, we must be set free. And the only way we can be set free is to tell the truth. And what can help us tell the truth? These 12 spiritual principles. Truth be told, look it up, all right? So my crown is from my barber, Mark Cooper, who has been my barber for over 30 years, right? And when I do my motivational speaking or my TV show and all that, I put that mask on, but that sucker comes off because I want you to see the real me. These white pearly dentures are not, they mine, but listen, cocaine and alcohol took my teeth. Thank God for recovery. I got some more. I think this is the second or third set, right? But transparency is the key, right? And so that's my sponsor, Mr. Mark Cooper at Mr. C's Barbershop. Morgans of Delaware, This Black-owned business, right? She's been in business for a number of years, and I love the fact that she has a variety of conservative elegance, day sportswear. She has a variety of outfits and displays and gowns for the prom and all that old kind of stuff, right? But Morgans of Delaware, a lot of my clothes that I wear comes from her. I believe in supporting Black-owned minority businesses, right? And then we have my Afrocentric attire that comes from Lady T, and her clothes are housed at Morgans of Delaware. The jewelry I wear sometimes is by Catherine Butler. The dress that I have on is from Jones Accessory, in Philadelphia. Yes, I brought this from Jones Accessory in Mount Airy, Philadelphia. And so I just believe in supporting one another in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but not so much as to advertise the product, because it's the person that's in the product that really makes the product. The clothes don't make me. The teeth don't make me. The makeup don't make me. It's the spirit within me that makes me. I told you this is nothing but the vessel. This is nothing but the temple. Before I got into the 12-step program, I had this body occupied by so many spirits. I never understood, right, coming from Philly. until I got in recovery, right? I would see on the state stores, liquor stores, wines and spirits. And I'm saying, okay, but when I got into recovery, the student appeared and the teacher was ready the student was ready and the teacher appeared, right? The reason why they call it wine and spirits is because once you drink that wine, you're going to get a new spirit. And once you get that spirit, it's going to manifest itself in your attitudes, ideas, your behaviors, and your actions, your choices, and your decisions. So what spirit are we put into this vessel that will be manifested outwardly? So underneath that park car 31 years ago, I put myself underneath that parked car to keep my stepson from hurting me, possibly taking my life. And I hollered out to a God at that time that I did not know but heard about to take me out this life or show me a better way. And that was 31 years ago, and I haven't looked back since. But I look back to find out what happened to me. How those various spirits were developed and formulated by whom and in what situation. Yes, I had to be true to myself, to thy own self be true. Truth, the sooner we can get better. And the sooner I can begin to tell you the truth. And hopefully that will have a ripple effect. I don't know what's going on, spirit, but just keep it going, huh? All right, so let's go back to our next sponsor here. I'm just yielding, y'all. What can I say? All right. Oh, here we go. Divine Light Recovery Center. Divine Light Recovery Center, right? This is my last sponsor, but my first sponsor because it aligns with what Dr. Carl Jones said, Dr. Bob and Bill W. of the Alcoholics Anonymous Fellowship that said, Dr. Bob and Bill, and this is Dr. Carl Jones talking, and I'm paraphrasing. Bob, Bill, the medical field can't help y'all with this disease of alcoholism. The religious field can't help y'all. We've tried, and some don't want to admit it, and some are in denial, but I'm here to tell you, Dr. Carl Jung, I'm here to tell you that what y'all need is divine intervention, divine providence. Y'all need to have a psychic change. And that was the meeting that spearheaded this spiritual program of Alcoholics Anonymous. They recognized that the Washingtonians who presented it from a temperance movement, they didn't last long, but they had over 600,000 members. I think that's right, huh? And this was back in the early times, in the 20s and 30s. They almost had the answers coming from a temperance perspective to treat alcoholism, right? And then when they met their demise, here comes the Oxford group, right? They came from a religious point of view to deal with life on life terms issue. Right? And so even that religious angle, which is all man-made, right? And guess what? They met their demise as well. But we do need to give them credit because they help identify the first 6 steps of the program. They used it from a religious angle, but after Dr. Carl Jung, Dr. Bob, and Bill W., after they met, we're going to customize through the spirit those 6 steps from a spiritual angle, not a religious angle, to have that spiritual experience that will bring about a spiritual awakening that will produce and increase spiritual maturity to obtain that psychic change, to look at our attitudes, ideas, and behaviors, where they have gotten us, how they have harmed us and others. But when we incorporate these 12 spiritual principles, we will achieve a psychic change and apply them to any physical conditions, all but from a spiritual angle. Yes. And so with divine intervention, divine providence, years later, God sent me to an organization called Divine Light with my friend Sakina Dean. Yes, she wasn't a drug addict, alcoholic, but her husband was. And he died, right? But she tried so much to help him. And she did help him by carrying on the thirst to help others with mental illness and substance abuse get their lives together. Divine Light. So who would have ever thought but God that he would direct my path to these individuals that I just mentioned to you, but also to this organization called Divine Light. Oh God. I just love to see the manifestation of the power of my Creator. And it's through these 12 spiritual principles that I yield. And when I don't yield, I suffer the consequences. And so now that we are experiencing simultaneously around the world in a holistic manner, this COVID-19 pandemic and all of its impacts, effects, outcome, and fatalities, it is my obligation, my responsibility to share with you the hope to set you free so that you can give hope to others by learning, embracing, and practicing these 12 spiritual principles and apply them to COVID-19. All right, so let's go on. We got a little bit more time. Okay, I'm gonna get to the conversation today. All right, what can I say? All right, so let me go through this pretty quickly now. All right, so now I want to share with you Dr. Scott T. Allison's information that he wrote in Psychology Today, right? And this is all about resources, right? And so as a result of these resources, one of them was Dr. Scott T. Allison article in Psychology Today on March the 31st, 2020 edition. How wisdom of the 12-step programs can help get us through April of 2020. But guess what, y'all? With this increase in these states and people disregarding the mask, lowering restrictions and all that, guess what? We're going to have a whole lot more lockdowns, maybe. But he uses the Al-Anon 12-step approach and focus on these 7 points in order to obtain that psychic change, in order to obtain that spiritual experience, will bring about a spiritual awakening, will increase your spiritual maturity so that you can be restored to soundness of mind, wearing the mask, washing your hands, social distancing, contact tracing, getting vaccinated, getting tested. Yes. So his 7 points are letting go of control, patience, keeping the focus on oneself, trust, living in the present, social connections, and service to others. I tell you, we are born to serve. Now, the other resource that I use is Jason Waller. As I was going through the websites of different presentations, I came across Jason Waller's breaking down the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. I love the fact that he was able to use other resources coupled with his experience, strength, and hope and wisdom to provide narratives, to provide a foundation, to provide an overview, to provide the benefits, the rewards of each of the 12 spiritual principles. He breaks them down, right? And then there's a set of questions that are posed for us to answer so that we can see the need to want to do the steps, right? and to practice them in all our affairs. So breaking down the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous by jasonwaller.com. Go and get his information. So many of you may ask again, and we believe in repetition here in the 12-step program because we never know when the student is ready so the teacher can appear. So what are the 12 steps? And if you just can envision, the spiritual angle of these 12 steps, right? You can possibly see how they can help us with any and all conditions that we experience here on this earthly journey, right? By applying spiritual principles. So one, we admitted we were powerless over COVID-19, that our lives had become unmanageable. With these people burning masks and long restrictions, they think they have power. And we're going to continue to pray for them, but we're going to continue to stay away from them too, and pray for those who are helpless with those who are in charge of them. Two, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, and sanity only means soundness of mind. These people are making some insane decisions. We're not saying that they're crazy, but they are making some insane decisions, insane choices. Our Creator loves us, but he don't like the choices that we make. He don't like the decisions that we make, but he yet loves us. So if we say we love ourselves and we love our children, our family, do we really love? Yes, we do. We do. We do. We do. No matter how distorted that love thing is, but we do deep down inside. Every human being desires to love and be loved. But we just don't know how. And so our Creator is the example, the perfect example of loving us, but don't like what we do. And so through the 12 spiritual principles, I and millions of others have learned that in order to love, we have to find out what love is and what it is not. We have to find out how our decisions and choices are the manifestations of some deeper issues that are internal, that need to be revealed and no longer concealed. So when we talk about the 12 steps, came to believe, right, that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity, to start making the right decisions, not the wrong decisions. And then 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. You did not wake yourself up this morning. I did not wake myself up this morning. You did not create the rain or the winds or the snow. You did not do any of that stuff. Neither did I. So there is a power greater than us. And in Alcoholics Anonymous, we don't force you, demand you to believe in anything. You get a understanding of one that you like. You identify your higher power. Just know that it's not you. It's not me. And so the same thing applies with this COVID-19. What's a power or powers greater than us? The CDC suggestions, the people who've lost loved ones to COVID-19, those who are suffering from COVID-19, we can learn from them. But we also can learn from those who was like me, was defiant, rebellious, and contracted COVID-19. And others met the fatalities of COVID-19. You can learn from both. Which one do you want to choose? Do you want to live or do you want to die? Do you want to be responsible for the death of your loved ones? I'm telling you, talk to people. They will tell you that if I could have, would have, they would have done something different. So there is a power greater than you. that can restore you to sanity, soundness of mind. But first you have to get into what happened to you to bring about that type of mentality, that way of thinking. Those attitudes, ideas, and behaviors that are destructive to your life and to the lives of others. And their answers are in the 12 spiritual principles. Okay, let's go to the next one. Recovery principle number 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. Man, listen, I wish I could talk with individuals and across the world in different cities. And no, I don't. I don't want to talk to them. I want to be able to listen to them. No, I don't want to talk to them. I want to be able to listen. Help me to understand your logic, your thinking. Help me to understand why you refuse to wear a mask. Help me to understand why you don't want to wash your hands. Help me to understand why you don't want to social distance. Help me to understand why you don't want to get tested, why you don't want to get vaccinated. Help me to understand. I don't want to judge you, can't judge you, but I want to understand. So in recovery, there's a phrase that we use. We try to understand than to be understood. So no, I won't go there talking with them. I'm going there to listen to them. Help me to understand why. Help me to understand what happened to you for you to think that way, act that way, what happened to you. And that's what we do in the 4th step. We find out what happened to us to bring about those attitudes. Oh my God, not noses. Those attitudes, ideas, and behaviors. That's why these 12 spiritual principles are so beautiful. They are, because they help us to get inside without being judged or criticized. Yes. Oh my God, time is going. But you know what? All right. So what happened to us? So made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves regarding COVID-19. So yes, let me stay right there, okay? Because this is the step that really gets to the point of, oh my God, forgive me, y'all. Sorry. wait. To the point of, oh, I gotta wash my hands, right? Okay, no problem. To the point of, this step gets to the point of what we are made of, how we were made. Where did all that thinking and that ideas and those attitudes and those behaviors, where did it all start? Because you have to go back to the beginning and play the tape all the way through, because what was established and formulated in your childhood, you're still carrying today. Why? Because I know. That's why I stick with my 12-step program. I ain't going nowhere, because I'm being set free. 31 years is great, but guess what? We only have one day at a time. So I want to continue for the God of my understanding to reveal to me any and all defects of character that prevents me now from washing my hands, wearing a mask, social distancing, right? Getting tested, getting vaccinated. These things are designed to save lives. So what is it about our humanness that prevents us from doing the next right thing? The answer is revealed in recovery principle number 4. All right, so we're going to stop here. I'm going to show you that I got vaccinated. I went through the sponsor thing again. I shared with y'all that I celebrated, 31 years on February the 23rd, one day at a time. I told y'all that I'm in day 94 of surviving COVID-19. I did take both of my vaccines. I did the Pfizer. So let me end by saying that, showing that. But if it's God's will that we are chosen to wake up for day 95, that he breathes life into us, to have this time together, to bring about an increased psychic change and being restored to soundness of mind, to apply these 12 spiritual principles to COVID-19 and take and utilize those simple suggestions. Be safe. Ask yourself, are you being proactive, reactive, inactive, or responsible regarding COVID-19? Are you in the prevention, intervention, or restoration mode of COVID-19? Think about it. And if it's God's will, we will continue and meet again tomorrow. Here's me getting a shot, the second shot, y'all.
Look at it. She's at the red button. Gotcha. All right. Okay. Let's get you a little shot of hope here, my dear.
Yes.
Shot of hope. Oh my God. Oh, she said it right. A shot of hope. Shot of hope. All right. So be blessed, be safe, and wear your mask, social distancing, right? Wash your hands, contact tracing. Get tested and get vaccinated. To God be the glory.